Roddy Ricch got a lot of public recognition before releasing The Box, but he's been locked back in a box because of how badly he fell off.
A steady incline is the best thing. I don't like to talk about like in a perspective of just rapping. Mm-hmm. I talk about just like in life. Mm-hmm. A steady incline is the best thing. Even it just in general, like you never want to rise to the top too fast.
The rapper experienced an exponential career growth after he went viral in 2018, and 5 years down the line, has now deactivated all his social media accounts and even delayed his album release. His career basically hit rock bottom. What happened to the once glistening rapper that everyone couldn't wait for to release new songs? Is this the final stage in Roddy Ricch's career, or is there hope for him?
I feel like I want my legacy to be someone who always remained the same but leveled up. I do want to become a legend, a great, somebody who broke boundaries, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who just rose above everything.
Growing up in the city of Compton, where legends like Tupac, Biggie, and Puff Diddy had told, was no easy feat for Roddy Ricch, whose real name is Roderick Wayne Moore Jr. He was born on October 22, 1998 in Compton and grew up in a Christian home with strict parents. You know what they say about strict parents? The child they try to control so much ends up leaving their space and doing every single thing they were told not to. For Roddy, he joined the Park Village Compton Crips as a teenager, and even got 2 C's tattooed on his body to show his allegiance to the gang. Roddy Ricch started rapping when he was 8 years old, heavily inspired by Lil Wayne, Future, Young Thug, and Meek Mill. When he got into the industry, he built a good relationship with Meek Mill and called him his big brother.
You didn't even know he was about to perform. You came out there on the main stage at that too.
He always look out though, that's big bro, you know.
But before he got into the industry, he first performed for Kendrick Lamar, who was also coming up in the industry. At this point, Roddy was trying to make a name for himself in any way. The streets make you mature faster than your age, because the rapper was only 12 when he started exploring the possibilities of getting his bag up through music. Kendrick Lamar attended the same church as Roddy Ricch and was impressed by the performance. He encouraged young Roddy and told him that he was going to be something cool if he continued. When Roddy Ricch turned 16, his gang activities caught up with him. His mother had kicked him out of the house and he was selling drugs and robbing to make money to survive. But one day he wrecked his car in a gang violence and was arrested, facing weapons charges. If he were to be convicted, he was going to spend a really long time in jail. At 16, you don't imagine spending your teenage years in jail, which made Roddy realize that he couldn't continue living a fast life. So within the week he spent in jail before his trial, he decided to focus on music once he got out, and that was exactly what he did. He started making beats after getting out of prison and revealed his skills to the world. In 2017, he dropped his first mixtape called Feed the Streets, which featured some of his famous tracks like Chase the Bag and Hood Rich. This mixtape brought him into the limelight as he got accolades from mainstream rappers like Nipsey Hussle and Meek Mill. He also got recognized by Mustard, the famous record producer, and it led to the start of a long-term recording relationship. In 2018, he released his most popular song, Die Young, which was a tribute to his friend that died in a high-speed chase. Roddy Ricch revealed that he wrote it on the night of XXXTentacion's death. The rapper seems to be minutely in tune with his emotions, which would define his musical style. He combines melodic trap with lyrics that makes listeners introspect. His music is fused with Southern and Western influence, which makes his song easily relatable because it sounds familiar to people from every region. Roddy Ricch has even called himself the illustrator of his streets, because he tells stories of the harsh realities of the street without sounding gangster. Roddy Ricch went on to release his EP in 2018, which he titled Before the Fame, and it made him more relevant in the industry. On November 2nd of that same year, he released his second mixtape called Feed the Streets 2, and it peaked at number 67 on the Billboard 200 chart. At this point, it appeared that Roddy Ricch was dropping tracks consistently and living up to the hype around him. It was entertaining to see because his works never flopped. In 2019, Nipsey Hussle featured him in the song Racks in the Middle, and it gave Roddy Ricch his first Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance. He then started teasing about the release of a new album and dropped tracks like Big Stepper and Start With Me, which were songs off his upcoming album. Eventually, he released the album in January 2020 and topped the Billboard 100 chart. Roddy Ricch showed that he could consistently impress the world year in, year out because he was that talented. But the mistake Roddy made was, he didn't know that his talent wasn't as important as maintaining the vibe he introduced the world to. When you start out as a rapper who releases songs every year, you better be ready to follow that path through, because the minute you go out of sight, your career follows suit. After releasing his album in 2020, Roddy Ricch went off the radar for a while and his relevance started to wean off. His songs were only making waves on TikTok, and music fans were barely talking about him again. Roddy had refused to drop a new album or even song for a year, and it was rubbing off bad on him. Maybe he didn't refuse to drop, but he wasn't doing anything new and it was getting tiring waiting on him. He was working with other artists on their projects, but it was nothing compared to him giving fans personal works. Eventually, on December 17, 2021, nearly 2 years after dropping his last album, he dropped another one and featured many guest artists including Future, Kodak Black, 21 Savage, and Jamie Foxx. The album wasn't bad, but compared to his other works and how much delay it experienced, people expected better. Fans were disappointed to the point that the album didn't top charts, which is a rare occurrence for any of Roddy Ricch's projects. On February 5, 2022, Roddy Ricch teased a new song on his Instagram titled Out My Mind. It would turn out that the disappointment Roddy's fans felt at this snippet was way worse than how they felt for his Living Life Fast album. The lyrics to Out My Mind had weak rhymes. I've been low, I've been high, out my body, out my mind. When you take my soul, take your time. How many times did I lose in heavy? Wet the whole block, they flop, they throw in tantrum. How many times did I blow a bag on dancers? Don't panic, cause I'm having these racks and rocks. Meet me at the mountaintop. He gon' come round the bend with a mop. We are not sure what Roddy Ricch was aiming for with this song, but for someone who calls himself the illustrator of the streets, he wasn't telling stories of the streets in this song. He received harsh criticisms of the song, with one social media user saying, "We need 2019 Roddy back because what the F is this?" Roddy didn't take the criticism well, because a few hours after the harsh reviews on his song, he posted on his Instagram story saying, "I guess I'm a flop now, she crazy," then deactivated his Instagram and Twitter account. Despite deactivating his account, he continued to work behind the scenes and dropped the album on November 2022 and titled it Feed the Streets 3. Did it flop? Big time. But it showed that Roddy Ricch wasn't going to allow negativity stop him from making music. The rapper tried to go back to his initial vibe of releasing new songs every year and reactivated his social media. On July 26, 2023, he went live on Instagram to tease a new song, and the response this time was terrible. He had 12,000 viewers initially, and as he started playing the song, the viewers' count started dropping.
Terror 9/11 with the ass on it. I apologize, you niggas slept on me. My cover villa came with a chef. I'm a real deal stepper, throwing different shoes. Throwing back the top, throw a bitch through a roof. I'm a dog.
It seems like nobody is cutting Roddy any slack, and his fans no longer want to listen to him. Roddy Ricch's career has seen a steady decline despite getting all the way to the mountaintop. Unlike DaBaby, he's not getting canceled for having controversial opinions. In fact, Roddy Ricch is not getting canceled at all. He's just being asked by his fans to drop music they can relate to again. But what if his style is evolving and he's exploring a new rap form? Well, while we don't yet know what's going on with his art, what we do know is he doesn't have a lot of time. If he continues at this rate, he just may lose more fans. That's all for today. For more news and updates on happenings in the hip-hop world, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Till next time, stay safe out there.